Today on 321 Liftoff, we are live on location at one of the most amazing museums you'll ever get to visit. This museum maintains and restores all types of aircraft indigenous to the world's military forces, from pre-World War I to present. You can see these aircrafts on display in two hangars, one of them a 30,000 square foot hangar where you may get lucky and see a team of men who flew these planes in action and restoring a plane. It is a place where patriotic history buffs will also love pouring through the memorabilia on display. Where are we? You'll find out because it's coming right up, right here on 321 Liftoff.
3, 2, 1, liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Welcome to 321 Liftoff. I'm Wayne Belden, the president of Belden Communications, the publisher of the Space Coast Fun Guide and SpaceCoastFunGuide.com. We'll be bringing you 321 Liftoff each week, talking about tourism on Florida's fabulous Space Coast. With me is the host of 321 Liftoff, Bonnie King, former deputy director of the Space Coast Office of Tourism, as well as the past president of the Florida Film Commission. Bonnie, are we ready to blast off on 321 Liftoff? Hey, we are here.
And we are drifting off in more ways than one. I'm going to say welcome to 321 Liftoff, and we want you to be part of all the special events that we have here on Florida Space Coast. And this week, we are all about patriotism and paying tribute to our veterans. We are here at the Warbird Air Museum in Titusville. We're on the weekend of November 13th and 14th. We will celebrate Veterans Day weekend with free admission for all veterans and their families and all Florida residents. Our guests are Bob Boswell, Executive Officer, and David Shores, Public Relations and Marketing for the Warbird Air Museum. And as you know, 321 Liftoff is brought to you by the Beachside Hotel and Suites in Cocoa Beach. Great overnight vacation destination when you plan your trip here to Florida Space Coast. And of course, Longboards Restaurant and Tiki Bar located at the Hilton Oceanfront in Cocoa Beach, offering a fabulous ambiance for having great food and drink. And by the Space Coast Fun Guide, where you will learn what there is to see and do in this fabulous area of the Space Coast. Joining me again is John Belden, Vice President of Belden Communications. How are you today?
I am fantastic, Bonnie. Good morning. Happy Friday to you. I absolutely love coming to Warbird Air Museum because every time you come here, you get to see and hear some fascinating stories from some amazing veterans, and it actually is it's a thrill to come here. And my father's got some amazing stories, and it's a fun time, so you definitely want to come here. Phil, I know you're checking this thing out, and you're absolutely blown away.
I think this is the third time that we have been here, and every single time that I come here, I am in awe. This planes are just beautiful.
You get chills, right?
Yes, I do.
Picturing it, wow, these things are flown, have been flown.
So
and
if you guys are watching, sorry, John, if you guys are watching this podcast, look at John. Look at John and Wayne.
I am beautiful, aren't I? Yes. Look at me.
There's a beautiful jet right behind him.
Yeah, that's the beautiful part. It's the jet right there.
I just clutter it up.
Plus, there's a jet behind everybody, isn't there?
Yeah,
I mean,
there-
look at me. I mean,
And-
look where I am, underneath a wing.
Speaking of beautiful people, to my left is the president of Belden Communications, Wayne Belden. How you doing there, Pop?
I am so fantastic. I just can't take it anymore. I know I say it every week, but as an Air Force veteran myself,
right.
I'm sitting here underneath the wing of an F-14A, and behind us is the wing of an F-16, well, the whole airplane, not just the wing.
It's intimidating,
of an
isn't it?
F-16. So this place, the Warbird Air Museum, this place is so fantastic. You know, it educates the future and preserves our heritage. We're going to talk about the many things that are happening in the historic museum, including the restorations that are going on, the future air shows in 2022, and how they assist our young people with the STEM program, which is science, technology, engineering, and math, using their minds to aid them in their critical thinking. There's so much fantastic stuff going on here, Bonnie.
And we have a lot to talk about, what the Warbird Air Museum is doing. And we want to introduce our two guests, which is Bob and David, that are sitting right here, and they're going to tell us what they do in their role as Bob is Executive Director and David, who does Public Relations and Marketing. And we have a great weekend coming up is going to be your Veterans Day weekend. So why don't you tell us, Bob, maybe a little bit about what's going on and what we can see. And it's free to all Florida residents
Free
and veterans
is the price for
and
me.
their families. Yes.
It is. It's a great weekend. I want to emphasize it's Veterans Day weekend open house, Saturday and Sunday. It's not on Veterans Day. It's a couple days afterwards. But 9 to 5, this will be a great place to visit. Not only will we have our airplanes that are here, 51 airplanes on display, and 30,000 items and memorabilia to look at.
Wow, that's a lot.
But we're going to have the electric trains will be here. The radio control pilots with their airplanes will be here. We'll have flight simulators set up for the kids. We have a lot for the kids, by the way. We got face painting. We got the girl who does the balloons.
Nice.
Will be here. Of course, we're going to have the volunteer ladies with their hamburgers and hot dogs.
Y'all have some good food here. Every time we come here, the food is fantastic.
Look at me. That's the problem.
Well, that's why I'm hiding mine behind the table here, Bob.
But there's a lot to do. The Space Coast Model Club will be here with all their models. So there's quite a lot to look at. We'll have the blood bus here. The red blood bus will be here.
Awesome.
To donate blood. And
I think what's great is that the partnership that you have with all these organizations, and they bring all their people. So when they bring all their people, that creates this wonderful mass of people that are enjoying a great time, and then everybody that comes and is part of it. You just have a lot of people and a lot of activity.
And a lot of stories.
And a lot of stories. Isn't that the truth?
One of the favorite
We're gonna
things
hear some.
is Jungle Jim with his alligator. People can
Oh,
pet
yeah.
the
Oh,
alligator.
yeah.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, he comes. Okay, great.
With Sweetie?
Yeah.
Sweetie.
Yes.
Yep. Yeah, we've had Sweetie on. He's a pretty good guest.
And we do, and we
Doesn't say a lot, but
No, he doesn't.
Yeah.
He does some with his eyeballs.
Yeah, that's it. So it's a great weekend. It's a good family weekend. Good chance to come out here and see the museum and visit with everyone. And of course, the whole theme is to support veterans and to honor what they've done in their service to the country.
Yes.
And that's foremost. So we do invite the American Legion and the VFW to be a part of us, and we partner with the Veterans Center at Merritt Island.
great.
Dean Schaff, his folks, they'll be here also.
That's what I'm saying. See, look at all the partnerships that you have
collaboration.
going on.
And, you know, Bonnie, we came here and took a tour, and Bob actually gave us, we were very blessed to have Bob as our host. And he had a story for every single thing in
I'll
here.
bet.
And not like a quick 2-second. I mean, he literally, that's how much this place means to you and to everybody here, the community. And that's why I tell everybody, even if you've been here before, come again. Because there's constantly new planes, there's constantly new things going on.
You'll learn something new every time.
It really is. And from somebody, you know, it's times like this where I regret I didn't go into the service because I have so much respect for the people that are sitting here with me that did, that it's so admirable. And the camaraderie that you guys have is just it's incredible.
So do you know some of those stories too, David? Do you go by an airplane and say, I know the story behind this, or what is your role?
My role here?
Yeah.
I do know a little bit about the airplanes.
Yeah.
My role here is public relations, so I do the ads and the newspaper and the
Wonderful.
radio and you guys.
He's the
things like
talker.
that.
Great, he's the
But
talker.
that's not his day-to-day job.
Oh,
Gotcha.
He's a tug driver. He moves airplanes around.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fun.
That's true, too.
Well, that's
true,
right. And you move them around here.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
the one behind you has to come out for a wedding next week.
Oh.
No stress there, huh?
Hey.
A lot of stress there.
Yeah, it is. To move this airplane, about 5 or 6 airplanes have to get moved.
Yeah.
So a wedding, I would love to see that. So do they do the wedding inside here, or is it outside? How do you guys work that out?
We do. This is a venue for a large number of events. Corporation parties, reunions, weddings, and we've had, last month we had the St. Jude's fundraiser for the Children's Hospital.
Great
Nice.
cause.
Inspiration.
That was-
Inspiration 4.
Yeah, that
Wow,
was Inspiration
yeah.
4. We had some astronauts here for the event, and
They raised $2 million here.
yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
It was-
Great job,
It
guys.
was a great event. But almost every week or every other week we have a major event here, a wedding. We've got a wedding coming up on the 20th, I believe. That's why we have to move the airplanes.
Yeah.
They're going to have the wedding in midday and then a reception that evening.
When they do a wedding here, they almost always military oriented.
No.
No, you get people that aren't even they think
They just like it.
that's a great. That's fantastic.
Now,
It
the
is pretty
best
cool.
one we had, was, I think they worked for Southwest.
Mm-hmm.
And they came in, and we put them with the preacher on the C-47 up in the air, and they got married in the air on our airplane.
Wow.
I need some cool stories.
You better say I do.
That's a great story.
You're gonna be flying.
Then they came down
was
and had the
open.
reception here, and it was great.
Have you had any divorce ceremonies?
Yeah. Out you go.
We've had Honor Flight here for a fundraiser for those folks. We've had a lot of events. We've had, coming up, besides having our open house, we got a celebration of life.
Really?
One of our prominent members who was here, and a Navy veteran, passed away recently, and so we're going to host a celebration of life for him in the Vietnam hangar.
That's a
Now
fantastic place.
On
I
Saturday.
I feel really good about that.
Yeah.
That's really, really nice. And let's talk about that Vietnam hangar because that is very cool. So tell us about that.
The Vietnam hangar was the last hangar that we built here about 10 years ago. We raised enough money to get it built, and thanks to the TDC and other organizations with the grants, and it was dedicated to the memory of those who served and flew in Vietnam, and that's what it is. And if you go over there, most of the airplanes in there are historic airplanes from the Vietnam era.
Isn't one of your planes in there?
Yeah, one of my 50,000-pound girlfriend, the F-105. The F-105 is out there.
Believe it or not, our tour guides talk about your story.
Oh, wow.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they say, look at the tail number. Let me tell you what it is. There's a guy who was 15.
That's right.
Who would be 15?
Right?
That would be John.
You better go check on her at least once a year and say hello to her.
Yeah, I'll go over and kiss her.
That's right.
Yeah.
And maybe for those that don't even know, maybe we should hear that story because that's a story that could be told.
Well,
I'd like to hear it.
the story is this. It was 1960. I was 15 years old, kind of dating myself. And at that time, we had just finished or kind of cooled down the Korean War, and there was all kinds of innuendo going on about Vietnam, but we hadn't really got into it yet. And there was this one aircraft, an F-105, which succeeded the F-100. And that aircraft was an aircraft that was designed to be able to strike the Soviet Union from Germany. And it was a low altitude, had the capability of flying low altitude and very fast. MiGs could not fly with it. And so at that point in time, it hadn't even been thought of to use in Vietnam. And I was only 15, but there was a lot of controversy about the aircraft at that time because there were those in Congress that didn't want to appropriate the money for that aircraft, thought it was already obsolete. There were some that did, and because of the capability, it could hold nuclear armament. It could hold as many bombs as big bombers. It could be a fighter aircraft. It could do many, many things. So there were those that were in favor of it. And so to kind of assuage the public, they decided to open up Republic Aviation, which was in Farmingdale, Long Island. I grew up in Levittown, Long Island. And my dad took me to this air show displaying these F-105s. And I noticed, looking at the tail, 0492 was my father's birthday. He was born on April 9th in 1922. So, okay, we missed one number, number 2, but 0492, and I remembered that number. Well, 5 years later, I enlisted in the Air Force. Things are really heating up, and I didn't want to get drafted, so I enlisted in the Air Force. And after basic training, I was assigned to McConnell Air Force Base, which was an RTU unit. That's a replacement training unit. That's where they train the pilots to fly before they send them to Vietnam, and as well as the ground support crews. And I'm assigned to Chief of Maintenance Aircraft Records. And my job was, well, I won't tell you what my job was, just very, very busy. Okay, they determined when they were going to change things on the craft based upon how many flying hours the aircraft would take. And so I'm down on the flight line, and I look, and I'm seeing all these F-105s, and I look over, and there is 0492. And I got so excited, I could not believe there is 0492. I saw, now it's camouflage painted. When I saw it, it was just silver.
Yeah, silver.
It was just silver. And not only that, but so I walked up to it real close, and I saw the pilot's name. And who was the pilot? Lieutenant Colonel Felix A. Doc Blanchard. To those of you that know, he was a Heisman Trophy winner and the nation's #1 college football player. And he flew that aircraft, and it was said to always fly it with a football in the cockpit with him. I don't know how he could, because that cockpit wasn't really that big that I could see.
It's not.
So he used to fly with that thing. But anyway, okay, so now 2 years later, I get my orders. I'm sent to Vietnam. But I'm sent to Ubon Air Base in Thailand, where they flew F-4s. So I figured, well, my marriage to 0492 is over with. Well, a couple of months after I'm there, the siren goes off on that there's an inbound aircraft that's been shot up, and it's coming in, and because we were the closest air base to Vietnam, and so it comes in and it lands, and I see them towing it, and it's 0492.
Oh, man.
I went, oh my God, this is unbelievable. You know, if I could have known about email, I would have emailed my dad right then and there and told him, but it took 2 weeks for me to write a letter and get it home. Okay, so now I was in Vietnam for 2 years, or in the Vietnam War for 2 years. Yeah. So I was sent, after 6 months after that, I'm sent TDY to Da Nang, and I'm there.
Another F4 base.
Another F4 base. We get the sounder goes off that there's an inbound aircraft that's been shot up. You know, everybody take cover. This thing lands. It's 0492 again. I
can't win lotto.
I was
but this
blown
happens.
away.
The universe works in
I was blown
mysterious
away.
ways.
Okay, that happened. Okay, now
It gets better.
45 years later, I'm here and I'm publishing the Space Coast Fun Guide. The Warbird Air Museum is one of my clients, and I came here for a meeting. And I look over in the yard. At that time, they had it over here. They hadn't restored it yet. And I look over and I see 0492 is sitting here in Warbird.
You got to get chills.
This was unbelievable. So it's like I've had a romance with a 50,000-pound airplane.
And I'm sure your wife is. It's good you clarify that, because for all these years she's going, what?
Oh no, he was almost crying.
Oh,
I was so. It took me back, you know, to my when I was in the Air Force, and I was just touched by this so much. And I asked, "Is this thing going to stay here?" And they said, "Yeah, we've got it."
Yeah, it was in the restoration line.
Right.
I love it. And those are great stories. And the great thing for people that are listening that are veterans that have their own stories to tell, I wish they would let us know, which they can inform us at info@spacecoastfunguide.com. If you have a story, let us know.
Also, absolutely. We love to hear the stories from our listeners. And to keep it rolling, it's time for our favorite segment, 3 Things You Need to Know, brought to you by Beachside Hotel and Suites. So this is where we like to ask our guests 3 things, and we'll do a combined effort between the two of you. Maybe 3 unique things. We just learned a really, really cool one from my father here, but 3 things about yourself or Warbird Air Museum that the average person wouldn't know that you think, hey, this is an interesting fact.
Okay.
Okay. Who's going?
I'll start off. Most people don't know how I got involved in flying.
How'd you get into flying?
If you go into the memorabilia room right behind us and go to the back and you go see where Claire Chenault was with the Flying Tigers,
okay,
and look at the picture on the wall, the 3rd signature down is my dad, Pete Boswell.
Oh, wow.
He was a Flying Tiger in China.
Wow, check that out, man.
So I didn't have a chance not to fly.
Right.
Now, that was the Flying Tigers. That was the 23rd Attack Fighter Wing, wasn't it?
No, it wasn't.
No,
They started off as volunteers, and then it changed to, what, 14th Air Force?
I don't know. I've got the book at home.
Yeah. Oh, I got lots of books and stuff.
Made your dad proud.
Oh, he put me in every pseudo-military organization from Cub Scouts on up.
I love it.
Great.
All right,
Then he
David.
made sure I went to a military college.
Great. Yes. Okay, David, what about you?
I don't really have any interesting military stories, but I lived in Hawaii for 16 years and won a silver medal in the Olympics in paddling canoes.
Are you
Oh,
serious?
He said that like it was nothing.
Wow.
I mean, you won a gold, you won a silver, you won a medal in the Olympics.
In the canoeing Olympics.
That's awesome, man. Good for you.
That is fantastic.
That is fantastic. Okay, let's get one more. We've got real.
Wow, I'm impressed.
That's wow. All right.
I didn't know he was going to pull that out of his hat.
I know. We're sitting with royalty here.
We got to watch him. He's kind of sitting quiet over here. He's got all kinds of goodies.
That's right. One more.
Her chirp in, yeah.
I
You
don't
got
have
one
any more secrets.
All right,
All right. Well,
right.
we'll call the story that Dad gave number 3. So that's the 3 things you need to know. Brought to you by Beachside Hotel and Suites, which I want you guys all to know that on Friday they have karaoke and trivia. So you want to go down to Beachside Hotel and Suites, located in Cocoa Beach, Florida. If you want to see John doing karaoke, I'll let you know next time I'm going out there. I'm pretty good if I don't say so myself. Saturday,
I'm gonna check you out.
I'll do some karaoke. Keep it going.
You can practice now if you want.
Yeah, you want to maybe later. We'll see. Duck dive mermaids. So it's actually becoming a thing where people are actually coming out in their own mermaid costume. So go out and check those out. And of course, on Sunday they've got the NFL ticket. Hang out in the lazy river. Eat out in the duck dive bar. I mean, you'll have a great time.
I think even I heard that there was a guy that dressed up as a mermaid just to have fun.
I mean,
me.
everybody wants to compete.
And I think you never know what you're going to see when you're there.
You never know. So check them out at Beachside Hotel, CocoBeach.com. Let them know we sent you.
And they are very, very supportive of the military as well.
Oh, great.
And we have, through our Chamber of Commerce, we have a military committee with Michelle Martindale, and she is on one of those committees as well. She's the sales director there at the Beachside Hotel. So
great place to stay.
Yes, it is.
And then
I
come
am
to Valiant,
dying
come in.
to ask one of you gentlemen, either one of you can answer this question. Now, I'm looking straight at, we're underneath the wing here of an F-14A, and it's a Navy aircraft. Did this aircraft fly off an aircraft carrier?
Yes, it did. In fact, it flew off the carrier and landed here.
Really?
It was an operational airplane that landed here. And not long after it landed here, the Navy came down and borrowed some parts back.
Wow.
Wow.
And then it's been here ever since.
I was going to say it landed here and then it stayed here.
It stayed here.
Wow.
And it's been here quite some time.
Let's talk about, I know that Wayne had mentioned too about his 0492.
0492.
0492.
That it was in the restoration area. Let's talk about your restoration area, because every time that we've gone there, you've got volunteers in there doing their thing, taking care of these planes. So can you give us a little insight into that?
I sure can. It's really great here with the volunteers that we have. And we have, for the airplanes, it's kind of divided between the airplanes that fly, and they're maintained by actually certified mechanics, and airplanes that are going to be static. And that's restoration team, and that's what they do, is they get over there and they take the airplanes that, like the 105, you saw how it looked then and how it looks now. They do a wonderful job of restoring them inside and out and putting a polished job on them to put them on display.
They did. I saw it before it was restored, and then afterwards, and it's like a brand new airplane.
I was going to say, did it look like it did when you saw it when you were 15?
Yep. Other than the camouflaging.
Yeah.
I mean, but what's really more interesting about these restoration is that you can come down here and watch these guys, and these guys are in their 60s, 70s, even 80s, and I think one of them was 90 that I talked to, that flew these things, and they're now working on them, and you can stop and talk to them, and they've got some fantastic stories.
Or the other thing you can do is you can come out and volunteer and work on them yourself.
Oh,
right.
how cool is that?
Yeah.
Do you have to know what you're doing? Because, I mean, I'll come
Yeah,
on.
of course.
Just to have a little bit of talent with your hands, and they'll teach you the skill.
That's awesome.
Really?
Yes.
Here, John, sign this.
How cool would that
Shine
be?
this wing.
Hey.
That is something that we really need to emphasize to get more people out here.
Well, you were a mechanic, right, in the Air Force?
I was not a mechanic. I was
In maintenance.
I was in aircraft maintenance. I worked in aircraft records. We maintained after so many hours you'd have to pull the engine to put a new engine in, change the egress system, there's all kinds of systems that have to be changed after so many flying hours. And my job was to maintain the records of those aircraft. Air Force 210s, 211s. And then the aircraft that would land, the pilot would debrief and write down everything that went wrong or he perceived that needed to be repaired or fixed. And it would come to me, and then I would handle it, and then I would assign the work and get it done.
Yep.
See, and I
That's
can
it.
imagine that somebody listening who's a veteran who did the same type of work that you did is probably going, oh, boy, do I have a story to tell. That's the kind of stuff we'd like to hear.
And the other,
So interesting.
the other part of the story, which is really not so popular, but we it happens. Occasionally, when a plane would flame out and go down and go in, as we termed it, the first thing that happens is they come looking at all them records, and that's when I used to sweat.
Yeah.
Because if there's any mistake that I made and something didn't get pulled when it should have, I could have been in some real serious trouble.
Yep.
That's why he always made sure I cleaned my room. He's very,
And
do what you're supposed to do.
That's why true. Seriously, that's
Yeah.
why I am so detailed about things, and I know I drive you nuts.
No, not at
but
all.
That's one of the reasons why.
No, it's
Did you
I
get that look
appreciate
on
it.
his face?
It's on the camera. Don't watch this
Yeah.
later. No, I appreciate that. I think, and we need more of that back in this country. We need people that have those types of values and structure. It's so important.
Well,
So,
we have that here for the flying airplanes. It's the same forms,
yeah.
and we maintain them for all the flying airplanes.
I'm going to sign you up for Father's Day. You can come work on these things. It'll be awesome. You'll love it.
Now here's a restoration success story. We have a lady volunteered to do restoration, and she's been there for several years working on the airplanes, and got excited about flying. Went and got her private pilot license. Now she's just completed her commercial multi-engine license.
Wow.
And that's all from volunteering. And then our STEM program. You mentioned our STEM program
Yeah,
here earlier.
let's talk about that.
One of the parts of our STEM program they implemented was the aviation line, where we teach the ground school here, and then they go and fly to get their private pilot license.
That's awesome.
So we're trying to nurture these young kids.
It's important. That's our future.
It is.
This is such a great place for so many reasons, but especially for children. And we kind of overlook that because we're looking at airplanes and we're thinking of adults and guys that were in war and the service and this and that. But this is a great place to bring a young kid.
You've
if I
seen
may,
the expressions on these kids' face when they walk in, and they're in awe because think of a little kid, big airplanes.
Oh, yeah.
They just go crazy.
and it gives them purpose
Yeah.
because they now that's what I want to do.
Right.
I'm
That's what
35,
I
I feel
want to
that way.
be.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm 34, and I feel that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
We
true.
work with the local junior ROTC high school kids here. We have a program for them also. And we get a lot of visits from out of state junior ROTC. We had 73 people came from Kentucky
Oh, yeah?
on a bus trip.
Wow.
They wanted to visit the Kennedy Space Center and this place.
Yeah.
And
Why
then
not?
We had a barbecue lunch for them, of course.
I mean, the Warbird Air Museum is only one of a few in the country, right?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, so this is a world class. There's nothing like Warbird Air Museum, honestly. This from the people, everything in here, and not only that, it's not, I don't know if we mentioned enough the gift shop here. I mean, I bought my father a bomber jacket.
Yes,
one year
you
from
did,
here.
and I wear that thing
Yeah, you do.
proudly everywhere I go.
You guys you have great things from the second you walk in, your smiles, and I see people literally. I mean, the second they walk in, they stop, and it's just every single item you go to. There's something here to talk about.
My nephew is a very big military buff, and he just renovated his bedroom. They just moved into a brand new house, and so he renovated his bedroom, and it's all done in military. So I came here.
Oh, great.
Oh, yeah, and I got the bomber jacket, but I got him a lot of things that you can put on the shelf and on the wall just from here. So
Oh, that's wonderful. You mentioned Buff. We have a B-52 cockpit here.
Yes.
One of only 3 that I know about that are open to public.
Wow.
You can actually climb it there. And
Oh, yeah, I've been in it.
Get in the pilot seat.
I've been in it.
And
That's actually a very cool thing.
That airplane actually flew in Linebacker 2 in Vietnam.
Really?
Oh, so it's not even a mock-up; it's the real
No,
thing.
it's a
Wow.
real,
Thing.
a real airplane.
That was it declassified so that you could do that?
It's okay the way it's set up.
Okay.
We have all the standard instruments and stuff in there.
The way he said that, it made it sound like there might be something secret about
No,
it. The
no,
way
no.
you said it, it just sounded like, oh, yeah, I can't
That's-
tell
Well,
you everything.
That's the careful way to answer.
That
it. Smart man.
that airplane, to some degree, correct me if I'm wrong, is still classified as secret or top secret, one of the two.
It depends on
Still
how it's
flying.
configured. And by the way, Rolls-Royce just got the contract to re-engine
Really?
76 B-52s, 8 engines on each one.
It's
8
going to ride
engines.
real good.
Yeah.
8 engines.
And
It's
then
going to be a great
they got
ride.
a new
8
plant in
Rolls-Royce
Indianapolis.
Rolls Royce.
Rolls Royce.
So
Oh.
that's going to fly, to 2040 at least.
So tell
Wow.
me about along the sides of the wall here. I see engines.
Oh,
is that
yes.
right? So, I mean, they're out of the airplane itself, but tell the purpose of that.
If a person is interested in engines, this is the destination. We have the very first jet engine called a Whittle in the back. And there's a story about that. In the late 30s, the British developed a jet engine. And then the war came on. They didn't have the resources to continue the development of the jet engine. So secretly it was shipped to America, and GE got hold of it, and they finished the project and put it on a jet fighter. So we had a jet fighter early on, but our War Department didn't want to divert the funds. They said, we got plenty of airplanes to fly without putting money into a jet. So that Whittle engine is sitting right there in the corner. And then we have just about every engine that's been flown. And the reason that is our procurement officer for about 30 years was a Pratt & Whitney engineer and salesman.
Gosh, look at that, man. It comes full circle.
So he got all these engines.
Oh, you know what time it is there, Bonnie.
Oh, here we go.
Space Coast Trivia. Space Coast
boy.
Trivia brought to you by Longboard's Tiki Beach Grill. Well, we'll learn some more about what they got going on here in just a couple minutes. But today on Space Coast Trivia, we'll see what we have here by our producer, Phil. He keeps me out of the loop.
I keep everybody out of the loop.
We have no idea.
Well,
No idea.
In honor of Veterans Day, I have some Veterans Day trivia for you guys.
Oh, boy.
Oh, boy.
Oh, boy.
So the way I have the teams here, I have Bob and David versus Team Belden.
Okay.
Okay?
Team Belden.
All right. And
So Bonnie's not
It's
playing
that-
today?
It's
No,
stacked
but it's
against
part of Team
Belden.
Belden.
Oh,
Okay, great.
well, because normally it's 2-on-2. So, okay.
I
So
think
it's us
that's
three.
great. I think it's great. Yeah.
Fantastic.
So you guys have a slight
Thank you.
handicap. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, so I'm going to do it a little bit different here. Both teams are going to answer the question. Okay?
Okay.
All right. So just so nobody blurt out their name, just one person answer and then the next person answer, okay? All right. So here
Okay, I guess.
we go. Okay, first question. Veterans Day was originally known as Flag Day, Remembrance Day, Soldiers Day, or Armistice Day.
Remembrance Day.
Well, both of you got everybody answered, so
Armistice Day.
everybody says that.
Armistice Day.
All right, that is correct. So both
Yay!
teams get that point here.
Well, that was kind of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just would agree with everybody else. Yeah, sounds good to me.
Yeah, what he said.
Yeah.
All right, next question. Who was the president who signed the 1954 bill proclaiming November 11th as Veterans Day?
Wayne. President Eisenhower.
You guys want to answer?
I was
I
just
think
gonna
it's
say
right.
Eisenhower.
Ike.
Eisenhower.
I-
That is correct.
Yay!
Good job.
Way to go.
Hey, Dad.
All right.
Yay, Dad. That's right.
Now, this one gets a little bit tougher.
A little bit tougher.
What is the appropriate number of U.S. veterans today? Is it 2 million, 22 million, 27 million, or 40 million? So
Wow.
You guys can
2
John.
million.
John, what do you say? Now, this is for both. This is for Team
Right.
Belden. You're answering for Team
Okay.
Belden, so you guys
20,
can think about it.
22.
You guys agree with him?
Sure.
I
I'll
think
say
it's
that.
higher.
I think it's higher.
I think it's 40.
I say about 40-something million.
So,
Yeah.
so John, what's the answer, John?
John.
Well,
You have to agree with your team.
I'm going to
has
go with the
agree.
group then, I guess. You're saying 40, right? That's what you said? You're saying?
What was the high number, Phil? Say it
So-
again.
Okay, so we have 2 million, 22 million, 27 million, or 40 million.
40 million.
Okay, and Bob
40.
and David,
Yep.
you guys say 40. You guys
40
should have listened to
million.
John. It was 22.
I'm telling you. Listen, John doesn't know everything, but when John says he knows, he usually knows. Wow.
Oh, we got to give John credit for that.
Okay.
We shouldn't have pulled you off of it.
That's okay.
I'll
Well,
remember
hey, at least
that.
I'm a teammate, right? I
Right,
go with the
right.
team.
So you
Yeah.
guys have
It's
to
not about
agree.
John.
All right, out of all the presidents the U.S. has had, how many have been a veteran? We have 22, 27, 31, or 33. Team Belden, what do you guys think of? So it's 22, 27, 31, or 33.
31. I'm
Okay.
thinking
You
31.
guys agree with Bonnie?
I'm going to say 22.
Okay, so John, you are the difference maker here. So 22, 27, 31, or 33.
I have to go with one of those two because I'm feeling 27. I'll go with 22.
Okay. And
Seems to be a good number.
all right. Bob
do you
and
guys
David?
think?
What do you think? 27?
Yeah.
The answer.
27.
You guys should listen to Bonnie. It was 31.
Oh,
Sorry,
we
Miss
roll
Bonnie.
on.
I didn't think that many had served.
Yeah, I didn't think they did either.
Yeah.
Wow.
Great job,
Last-
presidents.
Last
27
question.
was
Wow. Oh, we
closer.
have another one.
This
Last
is the
question.
last question here.
It's
Okay.
good for Veterans Day. Thanks.
All right.
That's right.
Getting
So
educated.
there is no multiple choice here. So
All right.
whoever the first team to blurt it out is going to win. Okay?
Okay.
Or
where,
lose.
Where can you find the tomb of the unknown soldier?
Arlington.
There we go. Congratulations.
Good job.
Very
Good job.
good.
That was Space
Very
Coast Trivia,
good.
brought to you by Longboard Tiki Beach Grill, located in beautiful Cocoa Beach, Florida. And when we think about Longboard's Tiki Beach Grill, we think ambiance, ambiance, ambiance. So when you're on our beautiful beaches here in Cocoa Beach and you want to come off the beach, you want to come off at Longboard's Tiki Beach Grill. They have a beautiful thatch roof tiki hut, big tiki,
Big.
big tiki bar, tiki hut. They actually got 2 little bar areas there. Beautiful couches, awesome televisions to watch the game, amazing food, and it's a great time. So again, you're on the beach and your time to come off, get some food, get some grub, and hang out at Longboard Tiki Beach Grill.
Yeah, and if you were with us last week, we were there at Longboards with the sheriff.
That's Sheriff and Junie, the dog,
And Judy, we had
bloodhound.
great ambiance behind us that we got to show off.
It's a great time, and actually they have live music all weekend, Friday through Sunday, from 6 to 9 on Friday. They got Tropical Vibes, 7 to 10 on Saturday, Jonathan Honeycutt, and on Sunday they got reggae from 1 to 4. So you definitely want to check them out at Longboard Tiki Beach Grill.
And especially after you've come here for Veterans Day weekend, you can stop by Longboards and take your veteran and have a drink.
I'm going to tell you, it's
That'd be
a great time.
That's a great idea.
Yes, it is.
I want to talk about my favorite aircraft type.
Okay.
Okay. Yes, I'm preference the F-105 because I served in the service with it. But my favorite all-time aircraft is sitting right over here, and that's Puff.
Puff?
The C-47.
C-47.
Which was in commercial use as a DC-3.
Wayne, which one is that?
This right
Big
here.
one, big one.
Puff.
You're going to tell us where
flagship.
Puff comes from, right?
Yeah. In Vietnam, they used some of the airplanes for gunships.
For gunships.
Puff the Magic Dragon.
I was just going to
Wow.
say that, but then I thought I might sound kind
They
of
put
ignorant. So
explain so our listeners can picture it in their mind. Explain where they put the guns and so on.
On the left-hand side, they had guns where the windows are. They cut them out and put the Gatling guns in there.
Wow.
And the airplane served as a gunship, air to ground.
And the plane would have to bank
It would have to
in
bank.
order to shoot.
Wow, that's
Exactly.
nerve-wracking.
Right. But the Viet Cong hated it.
Really?
They hated Puff.
Yeah,
Oh,
you see
yeah.
Puff
They
coming.
couldn't run from that thing,
No, look at he's a beast.
you know. And so now, correct me if I'm wrong, did this airplane fly in Normandy?
It did.
Yes.
It was built in Long Beach in 42, entered the service and went over to England, and it flew in the invasion in Normandy. I think it was the 51st aircraft across the stream in the morning.
Wow. That's history, folks. Let me tell you.
That's a real history airplane right there.
For you veterans that are, listening to us right now, you want to come and see this. It's very spiritual to look at stop and think about that Normandy invasion, and this aircraft took part of it, and it's right here in Titusville at
Right
Warbird
here.
Air Museum.
And it also flew in the Battle of the Bulge.
Wow.
It flew recently taking relief supplies to the Bahamas, and it flies on a regular basis here.
Wow.
It is. Thursday, we had a couple visiting, and they were Rangers, Army Rangers. The lady was a Ranger.
Nice.
And she walked by and looked in the cargo door and said, "Look, it's got a static jump line in there.
Oh.
You guys left it in." I said, "No, we still use it." And she goes, "You're kidding."
Yeah, I know that's one of the first things I learned when I come here. Because
I'm going to have
parachute
to
out, right?
I'm going to have to bring my brother-in-law. He's coming here for Thanksgiving. Mike, if you're listening up there in Atlanta, you got to come and see this. He was an Army Ranger,
Okay.
so I'm sure he'll be very familiar with this.
So what? I don't know. What's the static jump line? Does that mean that's when they jump out of the airplane?
They have the paratroopers, and we do a lot of reenactors, round canopy parachute teams that are dressed as soldiers in Vietnam or World War II, and they jump out using the old round parachutes, not the skydiving chutes.
Right.
And to do that, they have a hook, and they hook to the line, and when they jump out, it pulls the cord out for them to shoot.
Ripcord.
Yeah.
How cool is
Okay,
that?
that
It's a static line. It's
Got
called
it,
a static
okay.
line jump.
And strangely enough, I went to basic training on a C-47.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
We've taken this airplane.
Where did you do the basic training?
Lackland.
Oh, so did I.
Oh, gosh. Wow.
where's that?
Lackland, Texas.
Lackland Air
Lackland,
Force
Lackland,
Base,
I'm
San
Texas.
Antonio, Texas.
Yeah.
Antonio.
San Antonio, Texas.
We've taken this airplane up to Fort Benning, where the jump school for the Army is, and the top graduates and the top instructors on the very last jump out of our airplane for the bivouac. Everybody else goes in the regular airplanes, but the top folks get to jump out of our airplane.
That's cool.
How many years has this thing been flying now?
77.
Since 42.
Wow.
What?
42.
Yep.
You just can't imagine that it's still flying. You know.
My car is only 4 years old and it runs like crap.
Yeah, right. Exactly. They don't make them like they used to. That's for sure.
Bring it in here. Bring it
Yeah,
in
right.
Here, you know?
You guys need to go. You have a whole other side business for mechanics here. That's.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Is that the plane that was in Memphis, Bill?
No.
No. No, like the type of plane. I mean, not like the exact plane.
No, Memphis Belle's a bomber.
Oh, that's right.
It was a 4-engine B-17.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So which plane here? I mean, I know that you love all the planes, but I mean, there must be one that maybe is really dear to your heart, that you love the story behind it. Is there one that you can pick?
For me, it's a C-47 because I flew it. I flew this airplane.
Oh, okay.
So for several years, and I really like it.
Yeah.
It's got a lot of history, and it impresses everybody when you go to air shows.
I think it was
It's
impressive
been-
when you say that you flew it. So
It's been one of the longest flying airplanes in the military arsenal that I know.
It is.
It's
It
the
is.
biggest one here?
No.
No. That thing is huge.
Yeah, I know.
Which one's
Massive.
the biggest one?
I think the F-14 behind us is the biggest.
See,
Oh, 105
here's the thing.
also.
Everybody
105.
Everybody learns differently. I'm more of a I have to touch, feel, that kind of thing. And what a cool way when you're in school and doing history lessons. And because me, when I'm just reading a textbook, I don't really, it doesn't absorb that way. But be able to come here in these stories, that's why I think I find it so fascinating. It's just like and what an awesome thing that you have for schools. And apparently they come from all over, not even just within the state, but they come from all over. That is so cool to come in here and to learn these things hands-on from people like yourselves. It's an honor.
It's a great airplane. It's been a lot of fun to fly, and we take it to a lot of air shows. Probably the most prestigious airplane we have here is the Twin Mustang, the XP-82.
Okay.
It's over in the Vietnam hangar.
Awesome.
It looks like two Mustangs put together, but it's not.
Yeah.
That's very rare. We have the only flying airplane in the world.
But see, another reason to come to Warbird Air Museum. You're not going to see it anywhere else.
That's right. That's right.
Wow.
It was restored by Tom Riley and his team,
Okay.
and it took them 10 years to restore it. And
Wow.
They did it in Douglas, Georgia. And
Wow.
Now you even have a military staff car here.
We do.
Did I understand? Was that the car that General Patton rode in?
I can't say that.
It was in a movie, though, I think.
It was in a movie. I can't remember the movie. In fact, this was in several movies. It's right there
Yeah.
behind you.
Right.
Yeah, we were up in St. Augustine at an air show with our C-47. We were all dressed up in uniform. We were out there, and this distinguished gentleman came up and said, your display would look so much better if you had a staff car in front of it or a Jeep or something like that. And we said, yeah. That was Saturday. Sunday, he drives up in that staff car,
Get out of here.
parks in front of the airplane, and he says, I want to give this to you.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
How cool is that?
He had been a corpsman in Korea and then came back and went to medical school and became a doctor.
Wow.
And he had that car. And he even drove it from St. Augustine to here to give it.
And what is that's a Chrysler? Is that a Chrysler or a Dodge or a Plymouth
Yes.
or a DeSoto? Could have been a DeSoto too.
I'm not sure, but what it does have is the first automatic transmission in it.
How do you get that thing? He drove it on the interstate, or he probably took like US 1 or something?
Probably US 1.
like the main road.
Yeah, he
Because
drove
I
that.
can't imagine things getting up to 80 miles an hour.
Wow.
It's got a clutch and everything, but if you put it in second gear, it'll go from first to second automatically.
Wow. Oh, neat.
You don't have to shift it.
Wow.
It still runs. We drive it around.
That is so cool.
It's a great.
Yeah. You talk about reenactments. You can do some serious reenactments here.
Like I said before, my Volkswagen,
I know.
4 years old.
Yep. They don't make them like they used to.
Now, the other one that's in here that gets a lot of play is the Taco Bell.
That's the one.
Yeah.
That's the
Oh,
C-47.
That's
The C-47. That's
that
the
is
Taco
the
Bell.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's
See
our
how much I
flagship.
know about airplanes.
And the F-14, the Tomcat. Everybody loves the Tomcat.
Of course.
And one of our members was the backseater,
Oh, yeah?
and he wrote the book Top Gun.
Nice.
It's for sale, and he comes in and signs books on the weekends and stuff. But he was the person who orchestrated the movie Top Gun.
What a great movie that
And
was.
he's got great pictures with the actors and stuff like that. He showed them how it should be done.
Yeah.
I think he's the guy who sells his books at the Fly-In Drive-In Breakfast.
Yes,
that
he
we
does.
Have every second Saturday of the month.
Yeah,
And you have to come to that. The food is
That's
amazing.
pretty
The
cool.
price is right.
Is that
Yeah.
open to the public?
Yes.
It is. It's a fly-in, drive-in. You don't
Yep.
have to fly in. You can drive in. The second Saturday of every month, with one exception, open house weekend for the veterans.
But you
We
can
turn
fly.
that into a lunch.
Right.
But you can fly in.
You
Oh,
can
yeah.
fly in.
Okay.
Many do fly in.
Oh, yeah.
Say what?
Yes. Yeah. They fly in here, and then they can eat for, what is it, $12?
$12, tour the museum, and get to eat.
Come on. And it's good food.
You
It's
got
good
a chef
food.
that
Oh, yeah.
makes the omelets for you.
Our chef does a great job.
What is the airplane that you have here that was found on the bottom of Lake Michigan, I think it was?
The Wildcat?
Right.
We have two from Lake Michigan.
Yeah.
And what aircraft is that?
One in the lobby when you walk in. I'm not sure what it's an F5.
I don't know. I don't know what the number is. The Wildcat.
So tell me how it was found. How far down?
Oh, there's a story about that.
Man.
The naval aviation aviator who was trying to learn how to fly off of carriers, and they had an old ship that's converted to a carrier. It wasn't a real carrier, but to put a deck on it, a transport ship. And he went to take off, and it didn't have enough power after he took off, and it went down in the water, and he swam to the surface. And of course, they put him in another airplane. He continued and flying.
Like no big deal.
Yeah, no big deal. And it sat in the bottom for 50 years.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
we got a team there and recovered it and brought it back here, put it in the corner of this hangar, and it took them several years to restore it. But it's just a beautiful airplane restored. And so when we put it for a public display, we invited that pilot to come here.
What an honor.
And he was here, and he was real impressed at
I'll
being
bet.
restored. And he said, I never told the Navy what happened. And I went, well, tell us. He said, I had the mixture set on lean rather than rich, and it didn't develop enough power.
Oops.
So it was pilot error.
Splash.
But he didn't tell the Navy that.
Well, I don't blame him.
So that thing, that plane being down there for 50 years, that had to be in pretty rough shape when you pulled it out, right?
It was in pretty rough shape.
It was the home for
engine
many.
is sitting on the wall over here. You can see how corroded it was.
Where's that?
Had it been in salt water, it probably wouldn't have been able to be restored.
No.
Wow.
So how deep down was it?
I don't know.
Oh, you don't know.
Well, the Great Lakes are very, very, very deep.
Yeah.
Very deep.
Yeah.
And you're able to restore it. I mean, that's huge talent too. My
So do you have a
goodness.
picture of it then to show what it looked like when it arrived?
Yes, we do.
Okay. I'm
and
gonna
we
to
have
look
the
at
engine
that.
sitting on display. It's all corroded. A fella who's not with us anymore, he's taken his last flight west. Hal Larkin was in charge of restoring that. He had a team that did that. And for him, we named the restoration hangar Hal Larkin Restoration Hangar.
Nice.
So you'll see his name on it.
Very
Great.
respectful.
These are for those of you that are
Great
listening and
stories.
even watching on the video. This is places. There's no adjective that can be superior each time you talk about it. But you've got to come to this place. These stories that you're hearing us
I
tell.
love it.
This
I
is
love
just
it.
a couple, a few of them. There are so many more, and these guys that are working on these airplanes that are restoring will be happy to stop and talk to you about them.
They will.
Absolutely.
Every item here has a story behind it, and it's unbelievable. You know, it's like our liaison airplane over there that they put bazookas on in World War II.
Right. Yeah.
There's a story behind every one.
And you know, okay, so Warbird Air Museum, you can find them in the Space Coast Fun Guide, and one of the things that we have in their ad says to honor the past, educate the future, and preserve our heritage. And you can't say any better than that.
Right.
And you
No.
guys do such a great job of all of that.
That's it. And foremost, is two things we really need to do. Need to educate the public on the need to have a strong aerial force.
Right.
Every conflict's been won by the people who control the skies.
That's
over the
why I went
battlefield.
into the Air Force.
There you go.
That's and our second tenet is to encourage young men and women to enter the military service. So that's why we bring them here.
We have to.
I
That's-
know.
Absolutely.
And when we're speaking of that, we say a lot of guys.
Girls,
But
girls.
let's
No, women
talk about
too.
let's talk about the women
So
because
important.
tell us about the 99s. Who are the 99s?
The 99. It's a group of women that was formed a long time ago, and they got their name because there was 99 in attendance when they first formed. And they're avid aviators, and they have their different locations, different people. Right now, the ones that we're associated with are in Spruce Creek. They fly out of Spruce Creek.
Great.
And they come here for our breakfast, and they've come here and had meetings in our conference room.
That's so cool.
But that's a very strong group of women aviators.
Well,
Well,
it's great inspiration for
it
young
is.
ladies that
Yes.
want to get involved
I have a
in
12-year-old
aviation.
daughter, and that's, you always teach them you can do anything,
Exactly.
anything you want to do, and it's not just because I have a daughter. I firmly believe in that, and
Yeah.
it just that's so we've come a long way in this country and things like that.
Yep.
Yep. So it's huge.
So what's our Space Coast Fun Guide today?
All righty, so Space Coast Fun Guide Deal of the Week. Thank you so much,
love
Bonnie.
it.
Space Coast Fun Guide Deal of the Week brought to you by SpaceCoastFunGuide.com, where you will learn what to see and do and where to do it. Today's Deal of the Week is Kelsey's. It's Kelsey's Pizzeria in Cape Canaveral.
Don't we love
Bob
it?
thumbs up. They've got delicious
Salad,
food. They've got
salad,
pizza.
salad, salad.
They've got wine. They've got cocktails, craft beers. Go check them out. They've got amazing food. They got specials all the time. They're located in Cape Canaveral, Florida. And if you go on to SpaceCoastFunGuide.com, for those of you that have not yet entered our market, you can get a $7 off coupon right on our website, SpaceCoastFunGuide.com. And once you're here in the destination, you can actually pick up a copy of our publication at any major attraction or major hotelier throughout the county. And again, $7 off coupon there at Kelsey's Pizza. Let them know that Space Coast Fun Guide sent you, and we appreciate our partners very
Great.
much.
So let's just say again about what's happening November 13th and 14th here at the Warbird Air
Saturday,
Museum.
Sunday, 13th and 14th November, it'll be a Veterans Day weekend open house. All military, past and present, can come in, as well as, and their families, as well as Florida residents and their families.
Awesome.
So it's a family destination for that weekend. Good opportunity to come out and meet and greet. Besides having the airplanes and all the other attraction here, we will have some of the pilots that flew these airplanes or crewed these airplanes will be standing by to talk about their aircraft.
And they're going to tell their stories, and you're going to see it in person and hear it in person. It'll be great.
And take pictures with them.
True way to
Absolutely.
celebrate. True way to celebrate.
And you can go to the Valiant Air Command, ValiantAirCommand.com, and you can see everything that's happening for that weekend as well.
I'm curious, have the Tuskegee Airmen ever been here?
All the time. Hiram Mann, until he passed away, he used to come on the weekends, and every event he had a special place. If you look at our memorabilia museum, we've got a corner for Tuskegee Airmen, and he used to sit there and talk about it and sign books.
And the weekend is free, by the way.
Yeah,
Weekend
the weekend's
is free.
free.
Awesome.
That Tuskegee Airmen, that was such an amazing group of guys and what they did.
Yep.
And it just
It's unbelievable what they did and how much they accomplished, and they were so overlooked.
Right.
And the history and everything is right here at the Warbird Air Museum, and we invite everybody to come and have a great time next weekend. Because next week, we're going to be also at the American Space Museum in Titusville. So we're not going far down the road here. Our guests are going to be the executive director and the executive director, which is Karen Conklin.
Yes.
And then our community liaison, which is Mark Marquette. He has that wonderful show called Stay Curious.
Does a great job.
Does a good job with that. We're going to hear all about their upcoming events, like the signing that they have with astronaut Nicole Stott is coming in. She has a book. You can get the book and then sign autographs. Great Christmas gift, which will be great.
Mark is a walking almanac, isn't he? I mean, he could just spit out.
Mark,
Oh,
yeah.
my gosh.
So that's going to be really interesting. And also, they've got some really cool special events coming up in 2022.
Yep.
And one thing I do want to say also, because, we started out this by saying that there's so many cool special events that happen here on the Space Coast. And, of course, next weekend is going to be a thrilling weekend here at the museum. But also, the Native Rhythms Festival is going on in Melbourne at Wickham Park. And that's where they have all the Indian memorabilia, and they've got world-class performers, and especially the Native American flute. So we're just telling you things that they're, just look at our site and look at the SpaceCoastFunGuide.com, because they list all the special events that are going on in the area. This is the place to be, Florida Space Coast. Thank you both for being here. We appreciate it very much, and you are true inspiration to all of us.
Thank you for your service.
thank you.
yes.
God bless America. We'll see
That's
you
a
next
wrap.
week.
Great.